Instagram is so gay, man. It's literally gay. All right, guys. So, back after a workout, and I thought that video started, but it didn't. And Habib, Sandy Nigger, back. You know, I get called all these names. I've always been called all these names. Let me get my glasses on. I like to call them my educative glasses. Because I'm a teacher, and, you know, I like to say people learn at my feet and all that, and they do, actually. Well, I'm not going to talk about that, because it's a trigger. People get so triggered by my feet. But anyways, Mr. Sandy Nigger that rode in on a camel, and pretty soon, I don't know, people said the Middle East would run out of oil. Well, it ain't as yet. It's actually one of the best places in the world right now to be if you got money. And you don't have to be a billionaire for that. But anyway, and I'm telling you this, you know, personal experience. But anyway, Sandy Nigger, and, yeah, it's amazing. I was going to do another video on this, my niche influence and all that. But people, you know, when people call me an influencer, and they've been calling me that forever, a lot of people, I actually very civilly disagree. I'm like, you know, I'm a businessman. First and foremost, and yeah, I got an 18,000 strong email list that are very slavishly devoted to our emails in the superior. There's nobody out there in the fitness business that even comes close to the information, the overall information, life, fitness, all of it. It's unique. It's truly unique. And so they love it. And, you know, but it's only as of late, like recently, you know, or not as of late, 2 years ago maybe, you know, these AI search engines and Google and all these, they've all started to call me a niche influencer. This is what I laugh when people, you know, a lot of idiots, they're like, oh, you don't work, you know. Yeah, why don't I work? Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to post. And you know, just because they don't know what you do or whatever, or they don't believe in it, it doesn't do any work. Yeah. What the fuck is this? Like, is it not work? I mean, now, people have this idea that work is something that has to be, you have to go to an office, you have to sit in front of a motherfucking computer, then you get paid 2 months late. Nobody talks about that. You know, delayed salaries, all that. Who perceives your employer? It's kind of like slave mentality that your master will take care of you. And here's the bottom line. When I say I own slaves, the feminists are up in a hue and cry, the cucks are up in a hue and cry. I mean, they're not even really slaves, they just say that. I mean, yeah, that's the dynamic, but you're same dynamic behind a fucking computer. You're a slave to your employer, you know. I'm not. I mean, you know, I never was, but... And they write these long rants and all that. But anyway, I could do so many videos on this, but I've already done it. But yeah, the best goals are those. You have goals, don't get me wrong, and you have them with a burning passion, but when you really get after them, you achieve a lot more in things you didn't even imagine. I never fucking imagined being an influencer, you know, doing these. I mean, I didn't even do videos, you know. Then a guy told me, you know, if some of your stuff was pretty good, you should consider doing them. One of my customers asked me if I was going to, you know, do more of these videos. Even then, I didn't do it. Then I just started, and, you know, it was a weak point, and now it's one of my strongest points. I mean, that's what I do. I just take my weak points and I relentlessly hammer them until I'm the best, you know. Or, you know, I mean, there's plenty of other guys take better videos and all that, but not better, but more fancier, I should say. And I'm not a fancy guy. I'm a Bedouin nomad with my housemaids, which triggers everybody. On that note, the real reason I did this video, well, actually, but I've told you 2 other things in it. The real reason I did this video is, you know, all the recent hoo-ha about, you know, Britain being taken over by migrants, illegal immigration. Like, dude, I've been saying it forever. Europe, Western Europe in general, is gone, finished. That was the case 3 years ago, you know. And now they're all screaming, oh, the men are so weak, but they won't fight for us. Hey, you feminists, along with your fucking idol, Kamala, I'm speaking. I mean, when I see Kamala, you know what I want to do? Oh, I want to do. Like Denzel in Training Day. That's a wolf, dog. You know, I've always been called a wolf because of my lifestyle, my routine, my habits, all that. And, fuck. I gotta do something online. I completely forgot. But you guys are the most important. You know, I love doing these videos. Y'all are my friends. You know, I can talk to you. But, all right, so these feminists, they don't want to listen to the white guys. You know, let's face it, America, Britain, these are white countries. You know, anybody that argues otherwise is a fucking moron. You probably should put headgear on, you know. I remember an ex's girlfriend, you know, her name was Siobhan, and she said, you know, he's a sand digger, you know, when she was pissed off at me. And my ex didn't watch at me, like, oh. Then there was another girl who was like, oh, Motel Patel. And again, my ex was like very apologetic, and she was like, you know, and I'm like, honey, it's okay. I love racism. I'm Motel Patel. I'm, you know, Habib Sandy Nigger, Habib porn star. I mean, it's fun, and people have those stereotypes for a reason. But anyway, so these feminists voted all these illegals. Open borders, we all know that bullshit. America, Europe. Oh, they have a child, so they can't be deported. I mean, people were, before Trump, just showing up in America, having kids, and then fucking, you know. What about the guys that got it legally? How do you think that makes them feel? Of course, nobody cares about. You gotta win by any means possible. Prime example. Hate me for saying it, but it's fucking true. People care about the result. It's not how you start, it's how you finish. But now that these African migrants, refugees, whatever the fuck you call them, it's like you look at a country like China. China doesn't allow any. I mean, if an illegal shows up in China, he'll be booted out. If he shows up again, straight to jail, organ harvesting. Russia, the second time, straight to Ukraine. Russia's the best. They just send their hardened, hardcore criminals to Ukraine. If you can escape that meat grinder, 0.01% probability, then you get to live. You get a second chance at life, you know. And these feminists all like weak men. Hey, why the fuck should men protect you? Give me one good goddamn reason. I mean, first thing you know, if he so much as accidentally touches you, if he does CPR, basic life-saving, resuscitating, or like, have the fuck, you know, that technique, you know, the pumping the chest. Then they later say he was sexually harassing her when he was simply trying to save her fucking life. These are actual cases. You don't believe me? Go look it up. You know, even your fucking fake media will tell you that. In Afghanistan, oh, the Taliban is back. We need to send American men there to protect them. Why? First of all, it's Afghanistan. And, you know, you feminists fucking argue equal responsibility, then go fight yourself. You voted the illegals then. I mean, men didn't want it. You didn't want to listen to your men. Then go fucking fight. You know, now you can't whine. Goose and gander. You can't have it both ways. Anyway, the Russia-Ukraine war, back to that. It's horrible, the images I see all the time. Some of it is scammers on AI. Like, there's this girl that says, oh, I'm going to send you $1 million. You can help me build a house in China. And I'm like, you got $1 million? What the fuck are you doing in Ukraine anyway? People think, I mean, do I look stupid? Was I born yesterday? Anyway, she's like, why don't you just take the money? Then, of course, she wants my address. She gives me a fraudulent website, which really actually looks genuine. But AI takes less than 2 minutes, literally, to create that kind of website. I have had to block so many AI bots on our from stealing our content, it ain't even funny. If you got a website today, I'm going to tell you, AI is at it. You got to protect yourself, which is why all these blogs and all that, you know, if you don't have a solid backup behind all that, an infrastructure where you can actually deploy those solutions. So a lot of people don't. They just have a blog, a fitness blog, you know, free Google blog, whatever. Dude, you're going to get fucked up the ass if that's you, you know, because, not by me, but I'm saying AI, you know, they're just going to steal your content. But, so, yeah, and I heard, or this was 2 years ago, that they were actually considering now, since so many of the Ukrainian men that didn't want to fight, a lot of them, have died, that the women are, they have to fight, and that caused a hue and cry. How dare they conscript women? And of course, then they stopped, and they didn't actually. Zelensky, being the fucking idiot he is, didn't act out the fucking psychopathic buffoon that he is. That guy, men didn't want to die there, but now so many are dying that there's no more men left. Russian men don't want to go fight in Ukraine, but they're forced to, because otherwise NATO will attack Russia. And there's plenty of men dying on both sides. A lot of young Russian guys, they don't want to fight. They want to live the dream with a whole bunch of, I keep getting these comments. You live like a king. And because, I post these videos of, and, it actually used to be perfectly normal. It's just in this feminized middle-class society that I get a lot of flack for it. But the women love it. And you know what? You could say that they submit to me, I dominate them. Yes, I do. But then any employer would. And you might as well, this gay bullshit of be nice to the servants, this and that. Well, why the fuck are you calling them servants anyway? They're employees, right? I mean, in the middle doesn't work. In the middle gets crushed, squeezed very brutally. And those housemates themselves love it. Every woman loves to be brutally dominated. You don't believe it? Then she's not into you. I mean, every woman that I've ever been with, she was like, take me in bed brutally, blah, blah, blah. And, but these days, of course, even if you do that, even if you're that guy, some idiot cop will come with, a lot of money, and you'll be like, I'll give you more money, and so she'll go. So you got to really up your level. You really got to be that guy. And fuck the elk, but in my case, they still suck my dick anyway. They take his money, suck my dick. Women are equally brutal. Don't fucking kid yourself. Women don't run on emotion. They run on psychopathy, man. They will let you starve to death the minute you stop providing. It's just that simple. But back to the point, I would gladly, despite everything I just said, take a bullet for a woman or, fight or whatever the hell it is. Any woman. Doesn't have to be a maid or a blower and an employee. It could be somebody, I would gladly do that if the woman listens to me, if she submits to me, if she accepts my absolute command and authority. In every regard, I should say, So, you can't, a lot of women will listen to you when you tell them get the fuck out of Dodge when there's trouble. But then you go home, you want to just sit and you want to be pampered, and she's not going to even do anything. She's going to be like, well, I'm not your servant. So that is gay. That no goose and gander. But women, look, dude, everything is transactional. And no feminist likes feminism. And then it's evident, clearly. If you don't think so, you might still think, oh, she loves me, she does all this, but that's because you're too scared to deeply fucking analyze it. Anyway, back to my original. That video, I did a video on, anti-phobia and all that. It got me a death threat and all that. But you know what? I want to say this. I spoke to the guy later, months later. It's a long story, but... And, long story short, and I don't want to, brag or get into any, but he took that back, and I do deeply appreciate it. But other guys have made some horrific claims, like he puts one of his daughters in chains. I spoke to his daughter. She is terrified of it. Literally, guys like Glenn, they made fucking Facebook pages with me. And then the parents contacted me, and on Instagram, actually. One of them I don't know if she's still on my contact list or what it is. Probably, I don't know. That, he's a pedophile and he, and she was actually smart enough to, because the page was getting reported, and she was smart enough to actually talk to me, and hear my point of. And then I explained the situation, and she was like, yeah, I thought that was all fake bullshit anyway. Hey, guys. No, I'm not going to fight for a woman that wants to dominate me. She can fucking fight herself. She can go die. I wouldn't give two shits. But if she submits to me, I'm willing to die for her. It's that simple. That's no in the middle, because in the middle does not work. It's just that simple. I know there's something else I wanted to tell you, but I, in my sandy nigger redneck mode, completely forgot. But yeah, I mean, this is what I was going to end up with. Do I look like a fucking slave owner? Maybe Habib, maybe, but maybe I do, but, let me tell you one goddamn thing before I finish this. And I've said all this so many times, but there's still so many of you guys that don't believe it. Any woman, married, single, whatever, if you're that guy, they'll all want you, not just sexually. They'll want you to dominate them in that they want to be led. They don't like to think too much. It's just as simple like Carol kept saying, and, she had money, she had status, she had, everything, and she used to, all these guys, she used to block them. I could give you so many. They don't want to think. They keep saying, with you, I don't need to think a lot. I just do. That's really what it is. So to end it, if you're a feminist, go die in Ukraine. Get your legs blown off. I'm not saying I'll enjoy it, but that's what you did to the men. Turn about is fair fucking play, so fuck off. Goodbye.